Undiscovered Country Issue 1 is the new book from Scott Snyder and Charles Soule, and sees a helicopter flying towards the former coastline of California. The pilot, Colonel Pavel, radios into command, hoping that they can hear him as they're about to cross the communications blackout line. He tells the passengers to send their dying messages now, since they might actually die. Dr. Graves finds the Colonel's words rather crass, as the Colonel has no idea what they are flying into, and for all he knows it could be an invisible wall. The team theorize about what's waiting to blow them to hell as they begin feeling the static electricity in the air. Sandoval says that this could be them opening an electromag fence of type for them, since she's experienced this before when covering prisons. So if they did open the wall, this is what would happen. Everyone becomes quiet as they reach the coastline, seeing the giant wall that seals the United States of America off from the rest of the world. The team is engrossed in the dense vegetation and miss covering the land when suddenly the chopper's computers alert them to a missile about to hit them. A week prior in Athens, Dr. Graves helps out a sick boy in the city, giving him a pill to help fight his sickness. The boy doesn't want to take it since he's alone now, the sickness taken everyone he's ever loved, and he knows he will die regardless since his back has the twists. Graves says that he's not alone, since she is there to help him and wants to help him. He takes the pill as a group of helicopters arrive. Christo knows that these are the Dusters, and Graves reassures him that they will be okay thanks to their shelter as they don their protective masks. People, however, come and take their shelter, stealing it for themselves. Graves dives on Christo as the maroon gas covers the land, but it never reaches them as a man arrives, covering them with an umbrella. He tells Graves his name is Colonel Pavel Bukowski, and he's very well aware of who Graves is, as well as her illegal research into the Sky virus. People try and come and take Pavel's umbrella, but he pulls a gun on them. Graves, however, says he can't just shoot people since they are desperate for help. Pavel wants to leave so they can talk about stopping the Sky pandemic, and Graves wonders if the Alliance wants to steal her research, but she hasn't actually found anything on the virus. But Pavel says that someone else might have, since they received a message recently that stated so. Graves won't leave her patients, but Christos has already succumbed to the gas. He apologizes about the boy and reveals that the message came from America, which Graves finds impossible. In the present, the chopper has crashed in a barren land. The people climb out of the wreckage as Graves helps Ace with his broken leg. Sandoval begins recording a video about the crash as Janet and Chang argue over how the crash happened, thinking each of them actually caused it. Graves stops them fighting, telling them that they need to remember why they are there. Pavel says that he might be able to get the chopper working again as Sandoval uses her drone to survey the area, finding a light not far from them. The team decide to go and check out the light and get ready to head out, but Pavel says he will stay and try and fix the chopper, giving his major a rifle just in case. The team head out as Ace says that he wishes this made more sense to him since it wasn't meant to be like this. 4 days prior in Istanbul, Pavel reveals the message that came from America, specifically coming from Dr. Samuel Elgin, who says no matter what the world does to combat the virus, it won't work, knowing the sky is falling, and he gives them 6 months to live. There is hope, however, in the form of a cure that the Americans have, and they are willing to negotiate with both the Alliance and the Pan-Asianic Prosperity Zone, but it has to be on American soil. The man says that he will send coordinates to them, and if they follow the rules, they will be welcomed as guests. Pavel stops the message as the doctors and diplomats wonder if this is a legitimate message. The diplomats Chang Enlu and Janet Worthington introduce themselves, both representing the two governments that will sponsor the mission to respond to Elgin's offer. The team learn of Samuel Elgin, someone who Charlotte and her brother might remember from when they lived in America before the wall went up. Elgin was part of the Aurora Project, a think tank that anticipated threats to America and came up with solutions to them before they even happened. Charlotte is shocked that they could potentially have a cure, but even then there is still doubt that they have one, but the mission will still go ahead. Chang says that they will fly to a cleared pathway to the US and begin negotiations. He introduces the doctors to one another as well as to Sandoval, the journalist who will document the talks. Graves wants to know why her brother is there, since both the Alliance and the Zone want him dead, but they learn that the Major got the closest to infiltrating the US, and more importantly, he came back alive, so he probably has some very useful information. The team don't fully trust the message, but Graves says that they need to go, since if Elgin's estimate of 6 months is right, then the sky will end them and they have no other choice. She does want to know if they are going to the US for any other purpose, but her brother says that they need answers about her parents and the Aurora project. Pavel says that they leave in 3 days, and he tells the team to study up on the briefing beforehand. In the present, the team hike up into the mountains and soon they find a television hanging in a tree, the source of the light that they saw from the chopper crash. Major Graves thinks it's a trap of some type as Pavel radios him, saying that the storm above him is clearing but something is approaching the crash site. The TV turns off as Sandoval tries to see what she can from the top of the rock, but what she sees shocks her. Down in the valley, cars and creatures ridden by strange beings converge on the crash site, confronting the Colonel and telling him that he has invaded their land. The team watch from their hiding place, not recognizing any of the animals the people ride. Pavel tries to tell the people that they were invited, but the being's bison creature bites his leg off as he says that no foreign boots will set foot on American soil. Soon the people find the team's tracks, setting out to find them in the mountains as the Major tells them that they need to leave through the pass and they only have 5 minutes before these people arrive. He tells the team to head through the pass as Ace points out that they had old cars as well as old NASA thermal shielding to protect themselves, which he finds amazing. As they enter the pass, they find that even more of the beings have come round the other side, along with their huge land ship. The team are trapped, but soon a masked man appears from behind the rocks, telling them to quickly come with him. The Major wants him to identify himself, but the man merely shows he has an American flag on his chest, telling them to follow him since they really don't want to tangle with the Destiny Man. With no other choice, the Major tells the team to follow the man into the secret passage in the mountain pass. The man seals it behind them, telling them that this used to be an old gypsum mine and it's perfectly safe. The man reveals that he knows who Charlotte and her brother are and tells them to continue to follow him as they arrive at a small settlement within the mine. The masked man says that they call themselves the Silent Minority. Silent since they can't make much noise or the Destiny Man will find them, and a minority because there isn't many of them left. He tells Charlotte and her brother to follow him into his office, telling the others to wait outside. Inside what the man calls the Oval Office, he shows them a map of the US and the different sections ruled by different tribes. He says that this is where they will make the plan, and where the spiral walk will begin into the Heartland. Charlotte wants to know what all of this means and how the man knows their names and why the message was sent. The man removes his mask, revealing himself to be a scarred Samuel Elgin, who tells the Graveses he's never heard of any message being sent, but he knows who they are, since prophecy foretold that they would come and that they would save America. Undiscovered Country issue 1 was a damn fine and engaging first issue in this mysterious sci-fi story from Charles Soule and Scott Snyder. I loved everything about this issue, but the world building this first book has done is something truly awesome. All the little details gleaned from the dialogue through the characters, the setup of the story about this team going into a walled off America is really engaging and drew me in like I was watching a really great HBO series or a really great movie. It was utterly fantastic. I'm very excited for this series and what these two amazing writers have to offer up through it. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10.